Hey guys, it's Christine, also known as IvyWinter. Thank you for joining me for another Disney video. With all the changes coming to the parks for reopening around the coronavirus pandemic, we need to start thinking a little bit differently about our planning for the parks. And it's kind of crazy because I feel like this whole channel is built on a planning style that very well could go out the window soon. Now, we know that there's changes with fast passes currently being paused, and there's also some changes in terms of park hopping. Now, what is absolutely confirmed is that to go to different parks in Disney World after it opens, you will need to reserve your day at the parks. There has been more details around this that has come out on the Disney World website, and one thing of note was that a reservation at a hotel does not guarantee you park access. Meaning, if you are going to reserve a hotel, you also need to take the time to reserve visiting the Magic Kingdom or Animal Kingdom or Epcot. You can't assume that just having a room means that you will get in. You still need to go through the process of reserving a park day. What that process looks like exactly yet, we don't really know. I imagine it'll be similar to fast passes and likely something you can do on desktop and the app, but you do have to reserve your time in the parks. And the reason that they're doing this is so they can easily see and control how many people are going to the parks per day, so they make sure that they're hitting certain thresholds in terms of how many people are going to be around each other, because we still need to be mindful of this, right? But there's an interesting rumor that has been going around, and I don't normally comment on rumors too much because, again, rumors, grain of salt, right? And a lot of the times they don't even pan out to be true, or they're only an inkling of the truth. But I thought this one was kind of an interesting thing to speculate on. This rumor is that Disney World is going to be limiting guests to one park per day. So meaning that your reservation is going to be for just one park. That you won't be able to reserve Epcot and Magic Kingdom on the same day or for two different periods of the day, that you are just stuck with one park. And this really puts the kibosh on any park hopping plans. And so I think it's interesting because I've always been the proponent that I prefer park hopping. I know not everyone does, and for some people, one park a day is the better or easier choice. But generally, if you look back at some of my past videos, you'll know that I'm always a proponent for park hopping. I think it's a great idea. I think if you can pay for the extra to do it, do it. That said, we might be forced into not park hopping. And I really think that this is going to make us have to rethink some of our planning. I actually did a non-park hopping trip last year just to see what it would be like. This is before renewing my annual pass. I wanted to save a little bit of money, and I decided to do a non-park hopper pass, and it was wild. I hadn't done that in years. I'm so used to feeling like I need to make the most out of my day and hop around and do breakfast here and lunch there and catch fireworks there. And to not do that was really interesting. But more so than just thinking of outside of park hopping, which isn't a new idea, right? People do it all the time. I think the way this is gonna change planning is it's almost going to force you to plan your park days ahead of time in a way that a lot of people are not used to or don't want to do. And even for myself, who is definitely the Excel spreadsheet person, you guys know this. I've done a video when I was planning my now defunct April trip. You can check that out here. And I do spreadsheets, but the thing is, I love the flexibility that I can change park days however I want. Whatever I put in that Excel sheet or that Google sheet was not set in stone. But now I feel like a lot of people are gonna feel stuck, right? Oh, I had to reserve my park days, and so that's it. And this is whether the rumor's true or not, right? Even if you could do multiple park days, Monday is Epcot and Magic Kingdom, and God forbid you try to change those days. We don't know how busy the parks are gonna be, that you might, like a fast pass, find that there's nothing else available. So once you commit to those parks, that's gonna be your park. It's gonna be a really big shift in mindset for people who want flexibility, because we're not gonna have that, at least for the beginning. And like I said, even if the rumor isn't true and you can do multiple parks a day, those days are still gonna be pretty set. So how do you tackle this with planning? Well, now's the time when you really have to sit down and think about how much time you want to spend in each park and how long your vacation is. Now, if you have a 4-day vacation, it might be easy. Let me just pick one park per day, doesn't matter what order, and get them all done each day. But if you're staying for a longer period of time, you need to start thinking about what parks are worth those full days for you. Now, if you think that Animal Kingdom is a half day, which you guys know I don't agree with, but if you really feel that way, you might opt to not reserve Animal Kingdom at all, especially if the rumor is true of one park per day, because you might feel like, well, I can't spend a whole day at Animal Kingdom, and that's not worth the day for me. Or you might say, well, it will force me to then take a break and spend the rest of my day at my hotel, or go to Disney Springs, and I'm fine with that. I think it's understanding what's most important for you, getting the most out of park time, or being able to do all the parks, but understanding that maybe Animal Kingdom or even Epcot is not gonna keep you busy all day, and that you are gonna have to find something else to do when you feel like you've run out of stuff to do. Now, again, this is all subjective. I could probably find a way to stay at the parks all day for all 4 parks, but I totally understand that for some people that's hard to do. And then again, I think it's also prioritizing, like, are there certain parks that are worth giving more than one day to? Do you have a 6 or 7 day long trip? And are you sure that you want to give 2 whole days to Magic Kingdom or 2 whole days to Hollywood Studios and Galaxy's Edge? Or like, whatever it is, you need to sit down and say, like, do I feel like giving those parks more than one day is worth it, especially if this rumor turns out to be true, because that is going to be a whole mindset shift as well. How much is a certain park worth to have more than one day there? I could argue Magic Kingdom, to me, is always worth 2 days because there is so much to do. It obviously is the classic park. There's lots to do attractions-wise, entertainment-wise. So I could see that being an easier call, but it might not be as easy with your other parks. So then does that mean you shorten your trip? Do you not want to necessarily give so many days to one park to feel like you're filling it all out? These are the questions we're gonna have to start asking as we are planning. And as we get more and more detail, which are slowly starting to roll out, I can hopefully put together more specific recommendations for this new way of planning. It's gonna be a mind shift for new visitors, old visitors especially, and it'll be a mindset shift for my channel and channels like mine. We're really gonna have to reassess how things are gonna look and whether that means in the next 6 months, the next year, or certain things carry over and become permanent. I would love to know your thoughts on this. One, do you think the rumor could really be true that they're only gonna let you go to one park per day? And if so, how would you plan that out? Say you've got 5 days at the parks. What to you are the most important parks to make your reservations for? What parks do you feel like you could lose out on and not feel terrible about? Let me know what your thinking is in terms of planning. I would love to know in the comments below. If you like this video, then like it. If you like me, you should subscribe. I make videos every single week. I will be delving more into the details here. And again, like, there are a lot of news sites that cover the news of this a lot better than I ever could, and I will link to some of those down below. But when things are actually 100%, this is kind of how things are gonna go. I'm definitely gonna dive deeper into it and try to make more videos to help you guys with planning, because I think it's gonna be a little confusing at first for a while. It is even for myself. So it's just a new normal we're gonna have to navigate together. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a great day. Bye.